I want to thank all of you for listening to this message because I believe it's a very powerful message. And this message that I would desire to share with you, I'm channeling from the True Source, and it will be continued on for so many ensuing weeks. And I don't know what that means, but that's what the True Source is telling me. Whether it's 2 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks, I don't know, more or less. But I'd like all of you to realize the most important thing. The most important thing is that you are creating your life. You are creating your life. I'm repeating that again. You are creating your life. And if you understand you are creating your life, first of all, we have to go back before you incarnated. And before you incarnated, you chose your family, friends, relatives, and so on and so forth. And then you chose your experiences and your missions and goals in life. Secret is, how do you achieve your missions and goals in life? How do you heal your karma? What direction do you take? That is where you have your free will and free choice. So I wrote on Facebook, if you choose not to be doing something or you choose to be stuck, that's your choice. And I hope you all understand that. It means that whatever we believe in, whatever we think, and if we put enough energy behind it, we are creating our own reality. Along with that reality is some of the karmic experiences, which is nothing but an experience, remember? But also, we are creating certain experiences to understand what's going on. For example, perhaps there's a vegetable that you don't like. Well, you had to taste a bunch of different vegetables to discern which vegetable you don't like. And the more we understand that we are creating our own life, it is by our thought, by our belief system, and by our faith in it. You know, if we look at faith, we try to believe that faith and belief is positive. But a person, through their faith and belief of something negative that is going to occur in their life or block their life, will happen. Why? Because, again, we have free will and free choice to experience anything we so desire. The danger with any of this is that we become stuck. And I have known people that have had the Midas touch, and they're tremendously successful. They came from another country, couldn't even speak English, and became very, very successful. Well, then they began to think they're bulletproof. They can create anything all the time. But it all started with, I've got to change my life, I've got to do something, and I believe, I have faith that I can be prosperous, abundant, or whatever you desire to be, or healthy. And it happens. And then we begin to take it for granted, which is a human nature. And then we become boastful. And we become more boastful. And then we begin to lie to ourselves that we can't do anything wrong and we can take advantage of people because it's for our good and they have to learn a lesson. That's the beginning of when trouble begins to occur in our life. So when I use the word trouble, it means a day of reckoning or a time of reckoning. We need to understand that. So if it's a time of reckoning or a day of reckoning, it's like, where are our thoughts? What are we creating? Why do we think we're bulletproof? Why do we think we can't do anything wrong? And we're invincible. The truth of the matter is that day of reckoning comes, and then we look at it, and it tears us apart. And we're angry, we're upset, we're screaming, we're yelling. All those things happen. Then all of a sudden, you stop. Because you realize, whatever I've done at this point, the screaming and yelling hasn't helped. How long does that take? maybe 5 minutes, maybe 20, 30 years, maybe never in this lifetime. But now that you're aware of this, you don't have to experience this throughout your lifetime. You don't have to carry that karma into another lifetime. You merely have to understand what you created, why you created, and the arrogance of it. And realizing that your thoughts are so powerful. And realizing by the law of karma, right action and correct exchange, or what comes around goes around, you begin to change your thinking. And I notice a lot of people that are older, not all of them, there comes a point in their life they go through a crisis and they lose just about everything or almost everything. And then they rebuild their life in a different way. And they become happier, healthier, prosperous, and abundant. So the question always looms, how much is enough? I don't know. How much is enough for you? Some people are happy to have all their bills paid, their house paid, their cars paid, and retired and have $5,000, $6,000 a month income jointly. Others, no matter how much they have, they never have enough. And they would tell you, I deserve a yacht, I deserve a Rolls Royce, I deserve this, I deserve that. Well, the truth of the matter is, you can create all those things. You don't deserve it. You're creating it. Or you don't have to create it. And we have to examine our thoughts and our belief systems of what we are doing in life and what is important. If you look around at the souls that desire to be prosperous and abundant, multi-millionaires, what is the real reason they're doing it? And the reason they're doing it is because they're looking for kudos, to say, look, I've arrived. I am wonderful. I am this, I am that. Then there are others that I've met that are very humble. And they've created millions of dollars worth of wealth. One of them is a distant relative. You would never know it. And they're using the money to educate their grandchildren and children. And that's what they're doing with it. And they're enjoying life to the extent they can, but they're not enamored with the money. Their purpose and goal is to leave a legacy for their children so they have a better life. And that's a very good reason. On the other hand, as we look around, we see young children and older children that are very spoiled and expect everything. So you see, it's a double-edged sword. The intent was right, but those who got it didn't appreciate it. And that's a very sad thing. But I want to go back to our original thought. And the thought is what are you worthy of? What are you thinking about? What are you creating in your thoughts? Because if you truly understood, as they say, thoughts are things, and that you're creating your life with your thoughts, and you're following a path of learning, then would you not know you would try to take the easiest path possible and keeping your ego out of it so you get the maximum experience with the minimum of pain and the maximum of understanding and growth? Because that's why you're here. To heal the karma, to do your mission and goals. Now you've reached a time, all of you listening to this, to understand that you are now the creator of your life. And the question is, what are you creating? Have you ever thought about that? Sometimes we'll lie to ourselves and saying we're doing it for our children. But I will tell you, you're really doing it for yourself. But you lie to yourself. My children, they worked in my businesses. They are very highly successful because they learn the value of the dollar and learn if they have to want something, they have to work for it. Not hard, but have to work for it and create their life, their wealth, their joy, their happiness, their prosperity, their abundance, their pain, their anger, their frustration, their illness. You understand that through your thoughts and energies, that you are creating all this. And you knew it from the very beginning at the tender age of 5 or 6, when you have the age of reason. Would you think the world would be this way anymore? Would it be this chaotic? If we took all the money in the world, no matter where it's stored, who had it, all the money, and we distributed it to each person would have several $1 million. So they wouldn't be poor anymore. And I'm willing to bet 80% of them would not value it, spend it like there's no tomorrow, and end up behind the 8 ball again. Because they've learned nothing. That doesn't mean you need to be a hoarder or conservative. But you need to use critical thinking. How to best take this money to enjoy life. And look back and have no regrets. That's the most important thing. So I want each one of you to think over this coming week before I sign off. What are you thinking and where are your thoughts? And what am I creating 24/7? That doesn't mean that if you change your thoughts instantaneously, everything's going to be hunky-dory. The reason is because what you have manifested by your thoughts in the past are now catching up with you. So it's like having a tank full of gas, and you want to, let's say you had regular gas, and now you use high test or super gas, which you had to finish off one tank of regular before you were able to fill it up with a high test or higher octane gas.